Welcome to episode 77 of the Slip and Wing podcast. I got my man Joshawn James on the show today. Very excited, big guest. Joshawn, thanks for coming on. Appreciate your time, bro.
Man, it's an honor to have me, man. Always a good time to chat and get my name out there on your platform. So I appreciate it, man.
Of course, bro. Just real quick, do me a favor, introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, what you're doing, all the accolades and accomplishments and all that.
Got it. Joshawn James from Sacramento, California. Pro boxer, fight 160 pounds, decorated amateur. My athlete, I can do it all. Track, basketball, skateboarding. What else? What else I do? Change tires, handyman, father, husband.
Jack of many trades.
Yeah, for real. I really am, man. I'm always learning. Life is about learning and adapting. So, that's what I try to do, especially in this world right now, man.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. What kind of amateur career did you have?
I was ranked number 2 in 2017 up there with Nikita Habibi, Raheem Gonzalez, Amo Williams, Troy Isley. Just did all the tournaments, did everything. My background in the amateurs I think got me well prepared for the pros. So I'm glad the way my amateur career went. Just traveling and sparring a lot of different people. I was really busy when I was an amateur. It all just comes full circle to get you all ready for the pro. So my upbringing is pretty good.
Well, you guys have a nice class of guys in your age range at middleweight too. So I'm sure being able to fight all those guys, just the names that you listed, and that's a lot of that's the future of middleweight boxing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because looking back, seeing all the rankings, and then now everybody's pro that was on that ranking list, and we're all pretty much right there at the same age, same amount of fights. But I think I'm probably the lowest one, probably social media wise. But I'm still up there skill wise. I just don't have that following yet, But
yeah, it's a weird part of the sport, right? And some of the guys I've talked to, it's like a mixed bag where some of them love it, where it's natural for them to just film every fucking thing they're doing. And then the flip side of it, where it's if that's not natural to you, it's not to me personally, right? So if that's not natural to you, why is that going to affect my career negatively? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some guys that I know, they're kind of always recording in the gym. I mean, their pages are blowing up. They're getting a lot of followers, but just always recording highlights of them sparring people. I'm I just can't be that person to record my sparring and post a highlight after. I just have too much respect for my sparring partners to put them on Instagram and blast them like I'm just beating their ass or something. So
that's always a weird thing, right? Where it's somebody was giving you some work and then you just use them as your dunk poster.
Right, man. I just got too much respect for the sport of boxing to be blasting people like that. But even if you're able to get highlights from a sparring video, I don't think it was good work to even start with from the first place. Some guys, they intentionally spar people that they can get highlights from, and then they post it. Now they're on sparring highlights and all these highlight pages, and they're going viral. I'm dude, this guy sucks.
Right, you're supposed to be sparring with people that are on your level, or above your level, so that you can get better.
Man, I was at top rank. My last camp was at top rank, man. I was getting my ass whooped, man. I'm I couldn't catch a break. I'm sparring guys from Kazakhstan, Russia, and Lorenzo Truck Simpson. I'm just getting my ass whooped. I'm man. But I just know that I was getting better. You just gotta weather the storm.
Who from Eastern Europe were you sparring with?
Man, I don't even know his name.
Yeah.
I got a picture of him, but I don't even know his name. I don't even think he spoke English. So
yeah, it's one of those Kazakhstan names. You really got to sound it out.
Yeah, for real. But that's I'm just not that type of person to have someone just record me all day on my sparring list.
Hey, listen, bro. I don't think that's a bad thing, and that's part of where it's that's like independent media. Like that's our job to highlight guys and fighters, you know what I'm saying,
Right,
in
right.
all ways so that they can, people can get like a glimpse into you and what you're doing, And I don't feel like when I was a kid, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, so you're a couple years younger than me. So when I was a kid, it was like HBO boxing had a certain level of like production quality where they really highlighted you guys. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It was like, and it's not, between 24/7 and all access and all those things. Those
yeah.
things still happen sometimes, but I feel like it's not done with the same enthusiasm, maybe.
Right, right. Like when Top Rank comes out with like what's their little show? There's their show that they do. They follow before the fights, real time they call it. But I miss HBO, man. I remember On Demand and 24/7 Floyd Mayweather and uh, what's his name? Juan Manuel Marquez.
Bro, it
All the
was like there was more of an effort made to connect the fans with the fighters. Like, you know what I'm saying?
before the fight, yeah, it went way more in depth and followed them around and all their training camp. But it's all new age now. You go on social media. That's when there wasn't any really social media. So now you just go and look at their page and go view their story, and you got an insight of their life. So times has changed, but um, it's all good.
Yeah, I
But
guess you guys can do some of that yourself now. Um,
yeah,
of all of
yeah.
the guys that were in your age range and like your class of amateur guys, if you had to predict the future in whatever 2 to 5 years, who do you think is going to be the top five at middleweight?
Top five. You want to like name them top like in order?
Just whoever you think is going to be the guys,
Uh, okay. I got myself at number one.
of course.
Uh, Number two, Troy Isley. He beat me. He beat me in the amateurs. He beat me. Uh, that was a close fight, though. I think I should have got him. I was actually about supposed to get some sparring with him last time, but he was out of town. He was out there with the Clarissa Shields out there. Um, Number three, I'm gonna put Amari Jones. Amari Jones, he good. Uh, Number four, Nikita Bibi, and number five, Ammo, not that good. Ammo Williams, he's not that good. I kind of want to fight him like soon, like within the next 6 months or something. If we can set that up, I don't think he can box. His last fight against Conway wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't see nothing impressive. I didn't see nothing.
Who was his last fight again?
I think it was Charles Conway, someone from the UK or something like that. He's from overseas.
Right. I remember that fight. Yeah.
It was even until he knocked him down, and I think he barely won. But
Well, and he's definitely like very athletic guy, but he doesn't
yeah,
have like the fluidity that guys like you and Troy have.
exactly. Yeah, he hasn't fought. I don't think he's really fought anybody like me or Troy Isley. So
I think Nikita is gonna have his come up too. Obviously I know he's starting off with all those quick knockouts, and
mm,
as you move up, you just don't like get those as quickly, and so people kind of like poo-pooed him the last couple of years. But I think Nikita's gonna be a bad boy in a couple of
yeah,
years.
definitely. But I don't know why he hasn't fought. Has he fought this year? I don't think he's fought this year, huh? Maybe like once.
He's definitely been less active. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I think mental health or something. But I would definitely like to see Nikita Abibi fight. Um, he's good, white chocolate. But now it's the future of the middleweight, man. It's gonna look bright, man. Like all these guys, it's gonna be some super fights. Like I would never fight those guys like now because I would wait for the money till the money's there. There's no point in putting my fighting those prospect versus a prospect this early. I mean, unless it's on a big show and like on a big undercard. So
I mean, it depends on the opportunity, right? Like a perfect example, I think, would be like when Elvis Rodriguez and Kenny Sims fought each other. Like
mm-hmm.
ultimately,
Yeah,
it kind of benefited both of them because Kenny got the win, right?
mm-hmm.
So it puts him in a different category. And Elvis, I think, has like learned some lessons from that fight and is probably better since then.
Yeah, yeah. And that shows, man, a boxer is always gonna beat a puncher, man. It's like my last fight, huh?
Unless he gets caught.
Yeah. And that's the thing about boxing. All it takes is one punch to change the direction of the fight. Like Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. That's a perfect example of a boxer versus a puncher. Deontay Wilder ain't never fought. He didn't really fight a puncher. I mean, well, Tyson Fury also was freaking got a chin too. I watched that first fight like yesterday. I was like, man, when he got knocked down, so like the ninth or 10th round, I thought he was done. He got back up.
That was the 12th round, bro. He had like he had like 2 minutes left of the fight. And I mean, I remember that shit too, bro. It was looked like, well, there's another Deontay fight, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna make it a full 12. And then he just hopped right up with that fucking crazy look in his eyes.
For real. Hey, where you located at, man?
I'm from New York.
Oh dang. So what time is it over there?
It's noon right now. It's 12:15.
Barely 9 o'clock over here, man.
Yeah, no, I know. And what's funny, I don't know how this has happened, but it just happened organically where like a lot of the guests and guys that I've met in boxing are all West Coast. So I'm constantly dealing with like the time zone difference.
Yeah, no, it's early, man. I don't usually be up until like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Well, I appreciate you getting up for this.
Yeah. For real, I was like, yeah, I gotta tune in, man. I saw you had interviewed my last was supposed to be my last opponent for my seventh fight, Chris Thompson, but he pulled out. But that was a good interview. A lot of major cap in that interview from him. But
I mean, shout out to Chris Thompson. You know what I'm saying? Friend of the show.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys were gonna fight. When was that supposed to happen?
August 5th, out here in Sacramento. You know, two undefeated fighters. You know, I don't never say no to no fighter. Whenever they come at me with a fight, I'm like, let's do it. And he was one of those guys. And then he pulled out like 3 times out of the fight. We signed the contracts right away, like 2 months. Would that be like 2 months out? About 2 months out, maybe a month. And first I don't even remember. First he hurt his hand. He got back in. I think his promoter was all like, no, he's fighting. This is all connected from I'm getting this information secondhand. His manager said, no, he's fighting. And then a week later, he called again saying he's out. I guess he hurt his wrist or something. But he was like sparring. He was sparring Bud Crawford like the next day. So I don't get it. But he like officially pulled out like the day before the weigh-ins. Like I'm like, jeez, man. But it's all good. One door closes, another one opens. So I just kept trying.
Yeah, bro. You hate to fucking hear that. It would have been. I mean, that would have been great for both of you guys. I know he's looking for kind of like that step up opponent too. You know what I'm saying? But you've already kind of had that experience, right? Like your last fight, you fought Richard Brewer. You got the stoppage at the end of the fight. Anything that I looked up about that fight, it was like, Joe Sean James upsets Richard Brewer. Did you feel like that going in? Did you feel like that? Not did you personally feel like that? Did you feel like that was the vibe of the fight? Was like that you was dog?
A lot of people were saying, yeah, man, congrats on that upset. I'm like, yeah, man, that wasn't an upset, man. Just because he had 12 fights and only had 6. I mean, I was his 4th undefeated fighter, and he was my 4th undefeated fighter. So, I mean, really, we at the same level, and he put his pants on every morning just like I do. So, I just know my upbringing and my skill set and my sparring and my camp was just way different than his. All they talked about was, oh, he sparred Jaime Munguia. Me, I didn't spar Joshua Buatsi. I didn't spar Lyndon Arthur. I didn't spar a few guys from the UK. I didn't spar Sugar Trey out of San Francisco, Cato out of Oakland, California, Kilo the Kid out of Stockton, Vladimir Hernandez out of Stockton, who just beat
tough guy.
Who else? Lorenzo Simpson, Amari Jones. Man, I got endless sparring partners that they didn't even talk about. But like I said, my sparring is different. I don't spar these amateurs and post them on. Like my work is Mama's Boys, Dennis Douglas. I didn't sparred him. Like I'm just learning like every day. I'm a veteran, but I'm still learning every day. So it was an upset. I already know I was going. It was either I was gonna knock him out or the corner was gonna stop it. Me and my coach, we were saying that the whole time. It was like, man, we just had that feeling. It was like, man, he's just gonna underestimate me. I think that's what he did because I only had 6 fights and like 4 of my fights was in Mexico. But really, that was just because of the pandemic.
Right, right.
You know, but if I was probably fighting someone like that, I would probably have underestimated him too because oh, this motherfucker fighting in Mexico. So that's probably what he was thinking. But my upbringing is different, man.
So he's probably thinking like, my experience level is different than his, like he's not on my level, da 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 da. But it was like you buzzed him pretty early in the fight, and there was a couple of different times where you clipped him, and it looked like you had his legs wobble and everything.
Yeah,
but you stay patient with it.
Yeah. That's the thing about me. When you see me like spar and everything, like man, this guy's really calm, man. Like I don't react. Like some guys, they'll get frustrated, they'll hit me with a low blow, and they'll expect me to react. But I don't react, and it come back so open their ass, and it throws them off even more because I'm just so calm and I don't really react. I'm just a calm person when I'm in the ring. Like it's just what I do, man. It's like I've been fighting for so long. It's just second nature. Like some guys, they get nervous before the fight. Like, I don't even get nervous anymore before my fights. I'm just locked in and just thinking about my game plan and executing. It's just, I don't know. I'm just different, man. Like, and especially like the brighter the lights get, the better I'm gonna perform. So I think my next performance is gonna probably be even better. So, because I was like, man, I was feeling myself, like, man, all these lights. Because that was a nice production. Like Thompson's Boxing, they had the lights and everything. Like it seemed like because I was fighting local shows and they were all right, but to that was like being on like Top Rank or something.
That's that's your first like big fight.
Yeah. Like this fight, me and my coach was like, man, hopefully people can start taking you serious after this fight. Like that's people are the whole sack, like everybody watched it. It seemed like everywhere I went after that fight, they're like, hey, you just fought, huh? Like I didn't even know who they were. Like, like congrats on your fight. I was like, thank you, man. Like everything, like everybody watched that fight. So it's kind of crazy how like we talked about me and my coach, we talked about getting to this position and fighting these top guys, and it's like we're already here. It's kind of like it happened overnight. But like you kind of got to look back and see how far you've come and see and kind of look back and see all you've accomplished and all the sacrifices and all the dedication and just to see how far you've come. And now like it comes so fast and it's over. Like training camp seems so long and then the fight and it's over and then it's like it kind of happened overnight. Now I'm ranked number 8 by the BoxRec and 160 pounds. So hopefully I can get some big fights coming up. I've been offered a few fights, but they haven't been at my weight class, so I've been denying them.
Do you have anything officially lined up?
Nah, Thompson, they wanted me on November 5th. They literally said right after the fight, they wanted me on their next card out here in SAC. But they haven't came to me with anybody, so I think they're still a little butthurt about me beating their guy.
Have you found, because I'm always curious how this goes, right? Like sometimes, particularly if you get an upset, right? You get a big win. Sometimes that opens the door, and sometimes it makes everybody a little afraid of you.
Right.
So it's kind of like you're the name they keep out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Which way do you think it's been for you?
I think it's been a little bit of both. Like they threw Evander Holyfield's son, Evan, but he fights at 54. They wanted me to come down to a catch weight. I'm like, nah, I'm not. Because Brewer made me freaking come down to a catch weight, 158. And that sucked. I was like, man, I'm not. 160 is my weight class. And then they had actually, they came to me with a guy, Showtime, this weekend on Showbox, New Generation. He was 16-0. But that was at 168. So I was like, man, you give me these good fights, but let him be in my weight class, Like I would definitely have took the fight, but it's not in my weight class. I want to dominate 160, get my rankings. I want to dominate 160 and then 168 and then 175 and then end my career off. That's how I want to do it.
Is there a level of fight right now, or not even a level, but is there like a fight that's big enough where they offered it to you at 168, 154 that you would take it?
Nah, I wouldn't take no fight out of 160 just because I just wanted to dominate 160. I'm not going to be one of those guys who's fighting every different weekend at a different weight. Um, yeah, 160 is my weight class right now. I want to stay in it.
Even if Caleb Plant hits you up tomorrow.
Uh, yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, Caleb Plant's brother-in-law, sister-in-law, is my training, my teammate. Jordan's Plant sister.
Does she fight?
Huh?
Does she fight?
No, her boyfriend fights.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, so I was trying to get sparring with him before his last fight, but it didn't. He was really busy, so hopefully next time. And then I was actually supposed to go in camp with Jaime Munguia last week, but he canceled. He canceled on me. But I think because he seen the fight and he was probably like, I'm gonna get my confidence killed in sparring probably. And I know that's gonna be a future fight, so he probably backed out because of that. He seen my rankings probably.
Which I mean, he shouldn't be doing at the level he's at because it's like he was a world champion 5 years ago and then like went back to being a prospect.
Right, yeah, he did. I think he's supposed to be fighting at the end of the month, so I know it was kind of quick for him to call me, but he canceled. I was like, damn, I was excited, and then he canceled. So, oh man.
Who were some of the guys that you've gotten to spar with that you've like learned the most from?
Joshua Buatsi, just his like patience and him just changing up his jab, changing up his tempo every now and then. Aaron Cooley from Oakland, California. I think he's pretty soon. His defense, man, he's crazy. The first time I sparred him, like I barely hit him. His defense is crazy. He frustrated me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, see, like these guys, like I'm learning from, because it's like me. If you see me spar, I'll be putting the beating on these guys. Not to be cocky, but like I really do. And then I go and spar these other guys, and then I get humbled. So it's like, I don't know. Like at some point, you gotta kind of spar these guys who are really good to learn from them. You can't just keep sparring people that you keep beating up. So
That's a fact, bro. Anytime I've said this before on the show, but it's like anytime I've gotten better at anything, if it's boxing or it's just like going to play pickup basketball, like
right.
Anytime I spend an extended period of time being the worst one on the court or being the worst one in the gym, that's when I get better.
Right, exactly. Yep. And
it forces you to raise your game.
And that's a part of my upbringing, man. Is just always sparring the top quality work. My upbringing is just different than any other boxer, man. Like the sacrifices and just I don't think nobody's more dedicated to me. I just don't. These Instagram, I call it the Instagram boxers when they be posting all these videos. Like, man, he just want followers. He don't really want to fight. Like you can tell when somebody don't really want to fight when they just posting 1,000 highlights and then just hitting the bag. Like, man, like I don't know. I don't know.
It's a little less painful to be a boxing influencer than to be a boxer.
Right? Yeah. Like some of these local guys. I don't think they want to really fight out of Sacramento or like out of a 50-mile radius. They just want to be known as that undefeated fighter out of Sacramento. Like they want to beat all these bums till they're about 10-0, 15-0, and then they want to fight somebody. It's like me. I want to see if I got it right now. I want to see. I don't want to wait until I'm 15-0 and then fight someone else that's like 16, 15-0. And then lose. I rather do it right now while I'm
right, and you're not as prepared as they are, or whatever.
Exactly. I want to see if I got it because I know I got it. I was like, man, I'm hungry for another undefeated fighter. Really. I mean, if I don't end up fighting this year, that's fine with me. But hopefully, I want to get something either mid November or December. So I'm just staying ready for that call because I know opportunities like that pop up last minute. Week or 2 weeks out, even like a few days out. So.
Dude, I mean, I know Aaron's been through that. You know what I'm saying? Like getting shit last minute and having to decide whether or not. But that's also part of why he's so good, bro, is because he's had to be in like different situations with different variables, whether you're the B side or whatever. I know he's fought overseas a bunch, and that's why he's so slick, man, because he's just had to, you take Aaron, you drop him anywhere, and his skills will hold up.
Man, it's crazy. But yeah, that's how I feel about the other boxers out here in SAC. They're not really. I mean, we got Xavier Martinez. I never sparred with Xavier Martinez because he's he's a smaller than me, but I think he should be fighting soon. I think he should have beat that guy Robin Concial.
Dude, he's good though.
Yeah, he's real good.
He's a slick guy, he's an Olympic gold medalist. Who were some of the guys in your area in Sacramento or Oakland or whatever that you kind of looked up to?
Got the Oakland is probably an hour and a half away from me. We got Damani Kato Kane. He fights at 154. He's 7-0 with 7 knockouts. Amari Jones, 7-8-0. Just fought. Kilo the Kid from Stockton, an hour away from me. He's actually headlining the show.
But who are like some of the OGs? Like, who are some of the guys that you were a kid kind of looked up?
I'm gonna say Kilo, definitely Kilo the Kid. Aaron Cooley, Will Shaw. He's from Oakland too. Who else? Blake the Beast. Yeah, her OG. He had just fought Badu Jack, I think like last year around this time. Who else? I don't know. My mind is going blank. It's a lot of boxers out here in the Bay Area, but like it's like the new generation is coming up now. It's like Kevin Montano, Kane Sandoval, myself, Xavier Martinez, and a few amateur prospects that's going to be fire once they turn pro. I think they're going to win a lot of. I think Sacramento's going to bring back a lot of amateur titles. As far as like Golden Gloves and Nationals and stuff, because I was at the fights Saturday, South Sac. It's a lot of good talent. One guy got knocked out cold
at an amateur show.
Yeah, he went stiff, and
it's kind of seeing that at amateur shows because it's like they got the headgear, the bigger gloves.
Yeah, he second round he went down, arm straight out, just stiff. But it was kind of crazy because the ref was counting. He gave him an 8 count still. He counted the whole 8 count. And he's like, bro, you not see? He's out, bro. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's not reaching up to you. His nervous system isn't working.
Yeah, I think he needed a little bit more training. I'm like, bro, like he's out. Like, there's no need for a count.
Yeah, bro.
It's to go and like watch. I always like watch and support. And like put myself out there, like at the shows where I'm able to be touched and talked to, because some of these guys they don't go to some shows and they sit against the wall and they're not approachable, So I want to be that person that's able to reach out to, and touch and be involved in the amateur, even in the amateur, even though I'm pros, I like to still go to the amateur shows and see what talents are there, So
and the young guys get excited about that, right? Like if fucking, if one of the guys from out in your area, whatever, Kareem Mayfield pulls up to an amateur show, like people are gonna know about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And Kareem Mayfield, man, a legend. But yeah,
it raises everybody's game,
Exactly.
Obviously, there was like a ton of fights this weekend. I don't know how much time you got. You got enough time to run through a couple?
Yeah, of course, let's do it.
Word up, bro. Yeah, I mean, there was plenty of fights this weekend. What was the standout one for you?
Oh man, freaking Caleb Plant, the dog Durrell. I just was not expecting that knockout like that. I knew Caleb Plant was going to win because Durrell, he's more of like he's on his way out. He's been through all those tough fights. He's been that guy at one point in time, but him just trying to climb back up the rankings and get back to being a champion, I think that was just a little bit unrealistic. But for Caleb Plant to come back and just put a beating on him like he said he was going to do, I mean, Darrell, his press conference didn't age well, man. He got humbled, like he talked all that shit. He got knocked out by a white boy, like you said. But Caleb Plant. I think I read something about how when Canelo lost the floor, he became a different fighter. So I think the same thing is gonna happen with Caleb Plant. Like the next few people he fight, I think he gonna put him down. So he gonna go on a winning streak, and then he's gonna dominate 168.
Well, he's always been like a super sharp guy, but I can't remember another fight where he just fucking laid somebody out like that.
Right? Yeah, that's why I was kind of skeptic. I'm like, and then Darrell was all like, "Yeah, man, you was in the sparring, nobody, something like that when his camp." I heard from Mama's boy that Caleb Plant, like his sparring was just he got hurt in sparring by Caleb Plant. I was like, man, I was like, okay, yeah, he gonna come with something different. So I kind of have it.
That was kind of the difference in the Canelo fight. Was I think that he was boxing real nice, but he just never hit Canelo with anything that like deterred him from coming forward.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was kind of gonna be the same thing where he was gonna box and run, but Darrell was more on the back foot. Was he kind of a little bit?
Which is not really normally his style.
You're right, exactly. There's some good fights. Devin Haney. I saw Devin Haney spar at Top Rank 3 weeks before the fight, and man, I already knew he was winning that fight.
No, what did you think about how he looked at the weigh-in? Because I know everybody was kind of talking about it and whatever.
He did look real, like he did look a little drained. But I mean, you never know how someone you can say, oh, he looked drained, but only he knows how he feels,
Right. And I think the only reason I bring it up is because the first couple rounds, it looked like it took him a sec to get like his engine started. He wasn't breaking a sweat. He was still pretty dry after like the third or fourth round. And then once he got it going, it looked like he was Devin Haney. But I just thought it looked like it took him a second, and that's probably the weight cut, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, even a few people said that about me. Like, man, you look skinny, but I was like, man, I actually felt better than all my other weigh-ins. Like this last weigh-in, like I wasn't irritated. I was still cracking jokes. Like usually, the day of the weigh-ins, I'm super irritated, but like this weigh-in, the last weigh-ins I felt really good.
But what's your take on cutting weight? Like, are you a guy that walks around real heavy and gets down?
Yeah, I'm a fat boy, and if I don't got a fight date, I'm fat.
Really?
Really, I'm like Tyson. I'm like Tyson Fury. I don't live a boxer's life after the fight.
Hey, at least you're honest about it.
I got a sweet tooth, so everything I craved during camp, I just eat it. I'm more appreciative of food. Like my girl, she don't eat something, I'll eat it. Like, give me that, I'll eat it. So I'm like a garbage disposer after the fight, man. I'm just everything I crave, I'll go and eat it for like 3 weeks straight, and then I get back on my diet. But I'm a fat boy, and I'm not cutting. So
do you find that when you get to camp, you have to spend a lot of time focusing on weight loss?
Yeah. I need to get more serious on that end, like starting more early on my diet, because I've had some like last minute like scares. Like
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I'm not that far along from you. I'm fucking 29. And I'm telling you, son, if I put even a little bit of weight on now, I got to work so much harder to get it off.
I don't want to get to that point.
It's coming, dude. I'm telling you, it's coming. You're going to get up to 190 one day, and your body's just not going to come back.
Right. Oh, man. See, now you're going to jinx me. I'll have to move up.
I'm saying, bro, keep it 180 and under, bro. You're gonna be glad you did it.
No, yeah, I definitely got to get more serious on my eating, man. Especially because I live with my niece and my girl, and then they just, they bring in fast food whenever we're out. So, but it was great because when I went to Vegas, it keeps me more like disciplined. Like I'm just around my coach, no distractions, and I'm able to like cut more better. But like when I'm at home in camp, it's a lot harder because I just got the fridge full of food, and then my fridge at the gym is full of food and snacks. But nah, I gotta get more serious on that part. But other than that, my condition and everything, can't nobody outwork me, man. 'Cause my condition is just different, man. I run too many miles. I train too hard twice. I train three. I'm about to really pick up my training like next week because I know that call is gonna come.
Well, listen, bro, this is the other thing too, right? And I'm just for the record, I'm not, I've trained guys and shit, so I've had to like manage that to some extent, you know. And if you don't come in, so say you fight at middleweight and you come into camp at, I'm exaggerating, but say you come into camp at 200 pounds, right? You're gonna have to really reduce what you're eating. But if you walk around at 170, there's never a point where you have to starve yourself. So even when you get to, you don't have to say no to every snack and like, repress that, you know?
Yeah, but with me, when if I get a little taste of something, I end up just eating the whole thing. I'll just have a little piece and end up going back 5, 6 times.
It's easy to do.
As fighters, we love food,
Well, and you guys work fucking really hard. Like, I mean, everybody's heard about the Michael Phelps diet.
Oh yeah.
Never heard about that? What that?
Yeah, like 1,000 calories, something like that.
Bro, he's eating like whatever's in your fridge. That's what he's eating every day.
That's crazy. Yeah. Even the Manny Pacquiao diet too. I think he has like a higher diet too.
Well, listen, that's the wisdom of Manny and Floyd. I don't think enough guys do that, where it's like they really fought at weights they were comfortable at.
Right.
Manny had to put on weight to get to welterweight, but he was never tired. He was always explosive, so there's some benefits to that.
Yeah, true. No, I just gotta that's the only part about me is just my eating. I would say that's my only flaw, but my dedication and my determination is there.
I'm sure, and you can see it when in any of the videos I've seen of you fight. Obviously, it doesn't look like you're lacking in dedication or anything.
Yeah. So you were a boxer or a trainer?
Yeah, I trained guys for a little bit, and I obviously, like, as a kid, I wanted to fight and everything, and I had too many injuries and physical issues and whatever. So it was like by the time I was 22 or 23, I was already training guys.
You're already coaching. Well, what gym did you train out there in New York?
So I would say for a while, I was training at Morris Park Boxing in the Bronx.
I never heard. I don't really know too much about the East Coast.
Yeah, so I was training at a gym called Morris Park Boxing. Some of the guys there were like Aaron Davis, the coaches. I mean, Aaron Davis, Lou Del Val was there. He trains Badu Jack. And there were some other guys in there too. I remember I used to see Josue Vargas in there occasionally. And then, just different things moving. I had to move a couple of times, injuries here, whatever. But then, for a long time, I was training at True Warriors Boxing in Paterson, New Jersey. So I've been kind of a nomad, bro. Like I've worked out in, garage gyms where guys are using wet paper towels for mouth guards. Like, I've been around.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's good. That's always good to like already kind of have your foot in the door, and because some guys they haven't had an amateur. Did you fight amateurs or did you even have any?
No, I just sparred a lot. I had a couple of amateur kickboxing fights, but I never had an amateur boxing fight.
That's good though. But yeah, you've been around. You've been around some time around some good guys. So,
and I sparred with pros, and like I had enough. Like I've been hit in the head enough to kind of know what. So you know what I'm saying?
Like you were that guy on the highlight videos getting beat up.
I wasn't that guy, but I'm sure you know what I'm saying. Like, and I was pretty good too.
Okay.
I had some skills. It was more so just like I couldn't stay healthy, bro.
Right.
I couldn't stay healthy. Like I had shoulder surgery at the end of high school. Dang. And then I had knee surgery a couple of years later. Shit just kept tearing and popping.
They're major injuries. Those are major knees and shoulders. Those like
I tore my MCL. I tore a ligament in my wrist right before the pandemic. So that for me was kind of like the nail in the coffin a little bit, where it was like, now it's getting up into my hands and shit. Like
Right,
I'm gonna need those for other things as well.
right. Man, that's crazy because those are like the things that you need. You need your shoulders, you need your knees, your footwork.
My
And
shoulder, bro, I popped it out throwing a jab.
man,
It was the
yeah,
most painful thing I've ever experienced.
yeah, our jab then.
Well, and I had popped it out. I got fouled really hard playing basketball, and I hit the wall, and it popped out, but I didn't know. When
Right.
I got to the gym, I took like 2 weeks off, went back to the gym. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sparring, and I throw a jab, and the guy slips it, and it just fucking popped right out. It was disgusting.
That sucks, man. But
So that was kind of my boxing
did
journey.
you have a coach who was behind you, kind of like pushing you, or no maybe mom or dad pushing you?
No.
You strictly going into the gym and training and just off of your dedication.
Yeah, and there would be times where, like in Morris Park, more so, I had guys that would work with me, but there was always, at least for me personally, there was always other guys that were just getting more attention because they were either more established. So how I would get attention is like when I sparred, people would be surprised, like, oh, okay, this fucking chubby little white kid has some moves and knows what
Right.
he's doing. And then they start to pay attention a little more. But you know how gym politics go, bro. It's tough. If you're not in the mix, it's tough to get in the mix.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I'm so thankful for my team, man. Like I got a great coach, my girl and my family. They all push me. So they all believe in me. So which makes me go even harder. A
Bro,
lot of guys.
all you guys that have success, like, you know, and I know not everybody has that, but a lot of the guys that make it have people behind them that are really supporting them and pushing them. And that shit is important, bro. I didn't have any of that.
Wow. Yeah.
It was one of those things. It was almost like, you know, and coming from Rockland County, New York, man, like gyms close. So you could be going somewhere for a year. You go
Yeah.
one day, board it up.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm thankful, man. Thankful for my team. Floyd always preached that, man. Like having a strong team around you. So
bro, some of the most talented guys I've ever seen just have nobody supporting them.
yeah. I think, and they would have went a long way. Like I've heard like a lot of stories where people would say, "I could have been this if I'd had so and so behind me or my family behind me." I'm like, man, this just makes me more grateful of my team.
The way I always looked at it was like not and I could have been. It was like it just that's my now when I'm in this world, podcast being in the media, that's my edge. Is
Right.
I've been in gyms where you're at. I've probably sparred guys like you. I've gotten my nose bloodied. I've done all that shit. So when I speak on something, I can say it differently than fucking Todd Grisham.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get that background on you. Well, you see where your background is at.
Yeah, but I mean, I started when I was 13. I did martial arts, as a young kid. I competed in martial arts a bunch. The combat was always in my life. I wrestled for a while.
That's what's up.
It was just always something I was around, and I've kind of just refused to let it go.
So, yeah, that's good, man. Hopefully, I'll get something soon. I'm just staying ready, man. Staying ready. That's all. That's all I can do. Because that thin line between. It's like a lot of people they're gonna duck me, but a lot of people might call me out. But it's like I'm not gonna go back and fight someone that's 5 and 10. I don't want someone that's a.
Where do you feel like that middle ground is between holding out for quality opponents and staying busy?
I know I don't want to like deny too many fights and then like no one freaking contacts me anymore. But if it makes
like,
sense.
are you at a point in your career where the activity is more important, or that getting quality opponents is more?
I know that's where like I've been kind of thinking about actually. It's like 50-50 really. 50-50. If the money's there, I'll take the fight. But if the opponent sucks, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna go backwards. It's kind of like, is it a backwards fight where I fight someone that's 0-15? I would never do that. But but the money's there. It's like, but
it's tricky. You want to keep your blade sharp, right? You want to stay on point as much as you
yeah.
can. But you
That's
also,
Lorenzo, he just fought, and he's number 9. He's like right on my tail. So it's like, man, I gotta fight so I can get closer to that number 1 spot.
also, I think that sometimes guys don't realize, like, you don't want to waste a camp. Like, camps take a lot out of you. You know this. Like, if you waste a camp on a guy that's 1 in 20,
right,
for a 30-second fight.
Yeah, for real. I want to see if I got it right now, man. I'm hungry for another O. So maybe I'll do another undefeated fighter. I don't know. Whatever they got out there for me, I'm just staying ready. That's all I can do, stay ready.
Well, listen, man, friend of the podcast, Chris Thompson, friend of the podcast, Troy Isley, this we got the best of the best at middleweight on this show right now.
For real. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about Chris Thompson. He's full of cap, but I know me and Troy. I don't know too much. I didn't really know too much about like these guys. Like when me and Richard Brewer, when the contract got finalized, he blocked me on Instagram. Like, bro, why you block me? Like, first of all, you looked me up to block me, and then it's like, I don't want your followers, bro. I wanna whoop your ass. I'm not trying to look through your followers. Like, I can see your fights on YouTube, And then Chris Thompson, he blocked me before the fight, and then he unblocked me, and now he's watching my stories. He was watching my stories like last week. Like, bro, you want to freaking be my friend? Just freaking send a friend request, bro. Like, stop watching me. send a friend request. But now I'll never fight. I'll never fight Chris Thompson unless he gets up there and his rankings up. It's just because I have friends and family, bought tickets to these fights, and then he pulls out the day before the fight.
Do you have anybody like realistically that you think you might be getting in with, or that's like a goal fight for you?
Oh, okay. I want Emma Williams, and also who just popped up in my head, Nico Ali. But I know he would never fight me. He would never fight. It's like he would never fight me. I know he would.
Emma would.
I think Emma. Yeah, I know Emma definitely. But then again, he might not just because of the amateur rivalry that we had. So I don't know.
What's your take on Janibek?
Who is that? I never heard of that one.
The classic guy, Janibek Alim Hanallah. You never heard of him?
I never heard of him.
Bro, you gotta look up Janibek.
Middleweight.
He's from the same area in Kazakhstan as Triple G, but he can box, bro. He can really box. He's got that power. He beat somebody pretty good his last fight, and I can't remember the guy's name. Yeah,
I definitely have to look out for him.
I was thinking when I asked you the top 5 question, I was thinking you might slide Janibek in there.
Oh, I'm gonna have to definitely put him up there. I'm already knowing from just him being from Kazakhstan that he's dangerous. I'm already hearing that.
Yeah, those guys from Eastern Europe, bro, they just got that crazy work ethic.
They probably swimming in the freaking frozen ocean, just and wrestling bears. So I'm already knowing, man. It's like, man, yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to fight Kazakhstan late in my career because I already know, man. I'm gonna have to build up a harder chin, because the guy that I was sparring, the 3 rounds that we did, man. I already knew he could crack. He was cracked. Like
that would blow my mind if you sparred with Janibek and you didn't know who it was.
Right, man. If he's out there in Vegas, I mean, we're gonna be out there a lot more because it's like I kind of have to move my camps to Vegas now because nobody out within the 100-mile radius really is like. I mean, no offense, but like, it's kind of I'm not learning anything from these guys anymore. Like it's kind of just a one-sided sparring match.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's like, even if I had a fight, even if I took a fight like this coming Saturday, or even like November 5th, I still wouldn't have any sparring. I don't have any sparring right now because I wanted to fight on the 21st. I wanted to take that fight on Showtime, but my coach, he's like, nah, it don't make sense. So I was like, yeah, you're right. Now I looked at it more. He's been inactive. He's 16-0. He's been inactive. He don't even have a rankings. So I was like, it really don't make sense. But
do you remember who it was?
Steen. The last name was Steen. I forgot. It'll be on New Box Generation. And actually, the guy that he's fighting, I sparred him His name is Asasi. Asasi is from Ghana, but he lives in like Tennessee. I sparred him, so I already know he's gonna win when that spar. Asasi, he's gonna beat that guy. He's like 22-1.
Right.
But it's gonna be some. It's gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna watch that one. Yeah, I just know that the brighter the lights get, I know the better I'm gonna perform. So uh, the whole Thompson's boxing, they were all against us. They were like making it hard for us before the fight. Like my camera guy, he couldn't even come into the show. They told him he could come, then they told him to only shoot my walkout, and then they come back. They said, "Oh, actually, you can't even record anything inside the venue." Then they had our locker room like super cold, freezing cold. I was literally shivering in there. I had to go move out to the hallway where it was a little bit warmer.
They like pretend that shit's on accident.
Right. They're like, hey, we had no control, but the other locker room was freaking warm as hell. It's like, bro, our shit is freezing. And then the commissioner guy, who stays with me the whole time, I was doing my drug test. He's like, right when I was first walking to the venue, he's like, hey, fill this cup up, it's time for your drug test. I was like, bro, I don't even have to pee. And then like every 2 minutes, do you have to pee? Do you have to pee? I'm like, bro, give me some time. Like it's only been 6 minutes, bro. I can't fill that cup up yet. Like, let me drink some water. So it was just a whole bunch of, but I just stayed positive.
My guy telling me about that, where it's like you come in and you're the B side, and the fucking everybody knows each other. The A side guys like shaking hands with the ref and like all that subtle shit. You know what I mean?
And even like I think even the ref too, because when I caught him in that like second round, I think I did a flurry on him in the second round. And I was like, he's not gonna stop the fight because usually, they'll stop the fight with like a 10 punch combination. I was like, let me back off of him. I know he's not gonna stop the fight, So I'm glad, everything worked out. I just knew my training was different than his.
It was a great win, bro. It really was a great win because it wasn't an easy fight. You saw that you had to think through some shit because he is a good fighter, and I think that's why it's a great win because he's a good fighter, and you were able to figure it out.
Yeah, man, I freaking broke down crying, man. Like, cause it was just like a lot of sacrifices that like led up to the fight. Like my coach, he lost his brother like 2 weeks before the fight. Like I wasn't even sure if I was even like really wanted to take the fight, and it was just the camp, and it was just crazy, man. Like, and then after the fight, I was going to do my interview, and the crowd got real hostile, and my cousin was in the crowd. He was talking shit, and they poured a drink. They poured a drink on him, and they jumped him like 5 different guys were like beating on him and kicking him while he was on the ground. It was like barely no security in there. And then I got a freaking side. I got hit from the side trying to go help him twice, and then so they got a little hectic after the fight. So there was another fight after the fight.
Sorry to hear that, bro. That's like fucking Ron Artest shit.
Yeah, one of the guys there is like DM me on Instagram like, that's why my dad, he beat you up, he punched you. I'm like, bro, I could have charges pressed against you if I really wanted to, but like I can see if it was a split decision and they gave it to me and it was close, okay, be mad about that. But bro, he got his ass flew, he got knocked out, like he take your wins like your losses, but I don't know. But that was the crazy part. It kind of took away from like the celebration because then we had to be like, because he was in the same hotel as us. I think not even like a few doors down, and we had to be like secured, like escorted around the hotel until the morning. And yeah, we had to like kind of creep around because we didn't know who was gonna freaking jump out and do something. So yeah. So now we know when we go out of town on these B-side fights, have security with us.
Yeah, bro, and just stay low key, man. People get real passionate. They get upset. You know what I'm saying? Seeing someone they care about get fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people that get heated for whatever reason, if you got fucked up and you got stopped, whatever. People get emotional.
Yeah, that's true. And there was alcohol, so yeah, I understand. It's like
I would everything worse.
I would hope my fans would do the same thing for me.
That's a fact. What'd you think of the women's card, bro?
Oh man, I was good. There was some good fights. I only watched the main card. I missed all the other ones, but Baumgardner and Mayer, that was a 50-50 fight. But I thought May was going to use more of her reach and more of her boxing and frustrate Baumgartner, but seemed like Baumgartner was real sharp and landing the harder shots, and she cut Mayer, so I think that kind of contributed to the scorecards kind of going her way. And
Alicia
then
Shansky definitely surprised me.
yeah, for real, same with me. Like she was able to hit her without getting hit, so it was kind of crazy. And then I already knew Shields was gonna do what she was gonna do. I just was hoping that she wasn't gonna get caught with one big shot to knock her down or nothing.
Listen,
But
bro, I was the only one beforehand where I was like, I think Savannah might win this fight. Now,
yeah,
obviously, I was wrong,
it
but
was looking like up there, man. It's like this girl's big, man.
bro, she's one of the best women's fighters in the world, man. That's why
Yeah,
I mean that's why it was a great matchup because Savannah's
right,
like she's a problem.
right, yeah. So,
I
but
would call her female Tyson Fury.
yeah, for real. But she was too slow. She was too. I knew she had power on. She was punching like a hammer, but it was just too slow for Crucial, like moving
And
and
she didn't really get going till the fourth, and it's tough with the women's fights 10 2-minute rounds. Like,
right.
how
I
do
think
you feel about that?
I think they can choose whether it's 3 minutes or 2 minutes, right? I think I heard someone say I forgot who it was a while ago. They decided on a 3 minute fight. I think it was Amanda Serrano. She wanted to do 3 minutes with Katie Taylor.
I know they both wanted to do it.
Yeah, what happened with that?
That's what I'm saying, bro. The commissions or the belts or whoever it is won't sanction the 3-minute rounds. And I just think, like, if you break down the math, right? A men's title fight, 12 3-minute rounds is 36 minutes. A women's title fight, 10 2-minute rounds, that's 20 minutes. So you're talking about 36 minutes versus 20 minutes. I
Yeah,
don't know. It seems like you're cutting the fight short.
but more damage could be happen. Maybe some fighters, some female fighters, maybe take a little bit longer to get going. Maybe like needed that extra minute in that round to. Uh, but
It stopped
oh,
a lot of stoppages too, right? Because think about even like in the Brewer fight, you hurt somebody in the first minute, they only have to survive a minute. Whereas
right,
if you hurt somebody in the first round, they got to survive, in the first minute, they got to survive 2 more minutes.
right, yeah, more action, maybe might be more action, even better. So
That's what I'm saying, man. But I thought Claressa and Savannah was dope. I guess did you feel like the decisions were both good? Like you were good with both. You were good with Alicia winning.
no, I think they should have made Elisa and Mayer a draw so they can fight again, and then it's just more money for the both of them and more excitement for the fans. So when it's close like that, like even with the Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, I think they should have made that one a draw. Don't call a winner. Maybe make it a trilogy like Deontay Wilder, and it's just more money for them, and more anticipation for the fans. So it's like, now we know who won, But
And it was tough with the Michaela Alicia fight because I think two of the judges had an even round. So
really,
that's yeah, bro. Because I looked at the scorecards, they were 96-95.
mm,
So that's
yeah,
5-4 with one even. If they
right,
score that even round for Michaela, the fight is a draw.
right, yeah. So yeah, I think they should have split decision because then they could have fought again, maybe on a big card at the end of the year or something.
I thought
But
Michaela did a good job using her length and her jab,
yeah,
particularly in the last like 6 rounds. I thought
yeah.
she boxed well.
But I don't get how these press conferences they talk all this shit, they pushing and shoving and kicking each other. Then they go in there in the first minute, they just jabbing, filling each other out. I'm like, where's all the angriness that you had at the press conference? Like, if I'm talking shit and pushing somebody at the press conference, I'm coming out fighting like Hagler, like Tommy
Well,
Hearns.
I mean, that's like sometimes I think that that's the mental game, right? So if somebody's
Right.
talking shit to you, they're trying to get in your head. They want you to step to them. So it's like if you come out real cool, just like, you know what, I'm just still gonna fight my fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's like how you get in their head.
And I think that's the same thing with Anthony Durrell. I think he kind of was psyching himself out by talking all that shit, and then he's like, okay, I know I can't beat him, but let me try to get in his head the whole press conference, the whole camp. Let me talk a whole bunch of shit. Let me throw him off his game. But Caleb, he stayed calm the whole time. He
It
wasn't.
feels like that wouldn't work against him.
Yeah, for real. But But yeah, that's the tactic that a lot some people use. They try to psych themselves out when they don't got it. When they don't got it here, they try to got their confidence up here. So I let I let my hands do the talking. You know, if you
And you
see,
know what, too? You got to give it to Michaela and Alicia. They sold the fight.
yeah,
So
for real.
regardless of how the fight went, we were all
Mm,
fucking ready to go for it because they were selling it.
for real. But that's like me. Like if you heard my press conferences, like with Richard Brewer, you can hear like a whole bunch of confidence. Like I just carry myself with my confidence, man. And Brewer, I don't think he had a lot of confidence in his voice when he was like kind of talking about me. He's like, man, if he's gonna box me, that's a bad idea. I was like, bro, how you gonna box me? Like, how you gonna say boxing me is a problem? But man,
Is that are you one of those guys where it's like you can talk shit just to talk shit and not have it be personal, or it's like if you say something like you mean that shit? Like perfect example for me. Anytime I've been in a concert and there's like a mosh pit,
uh-huh.
I get away because if you touch
Right,
me, I'm gonna fucking break you in half.
right,
I can't have that just be like a game.
right, yeah, right. I'm really fighting in here. Nah, I don't even, I never really talk shit about none of my opponents. I might say something funny at the weigh-ins, I was like, yo, oh, what's going? I think I said to Brewer, and he laughed at the face off at the weigh-ins. But I try to say something just to do it for the press. I try to do it for the press. Like even when I was about to fight Chris Thompson, I was thinking about like pushing him just to like for it to go viral or something. I was like, man, I need to think something viral. I even like dyed my beard. I dyed my beard like whole different colors. So I was like, man, I need to do something to kind of get the media talking and something to for people to remember me, you know? So it's like I started thinking about that, like, man, I gotta get people talking. How can I get people talking about me? So it's like sometimes I'll say something smirkish, but it's not really like hard feelings towards them. It was just something that I want to do just for like the media, like, oh, he's Sean's talking shit. He's talking shit.
Bro,
Like
have you ever seen the video of the guy? I can't remember his name. He's an MMA fighter, but every weigh-in, he like brings the guy a gift.
oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I saw like highlights of that. He brought him like what did he bring him there one time? I think like some flowers or something.
He brought a bouquet of flowers. There was one where it was like he had a protein shake and he brought one out for the other guy.
Yeah. How did he do in those fights? Did he win or lose?
I think it was a mixed bag. I think he won some of them.
Yeah, no, I don't watch a lot of UFC.
Me
There's
neither.
no skill. There's no skill behind it. Like
There
I'll be
is, but it's like we don't know what we're watching when they get on the floor and they're rolling around. We don't know
right,
what's going on.
but it's like I'll be damned if I train for freaking 12 weeks and then I go get knocked out by a foot kick to the face. it's like it's like I would man, like I don't know. This is not my cup of tea.
It does sometimes feel like a bar fight.
Yeah, like I'll watch Nick and Nate Diaz fight and Conor McGregor, but uh, people always ask me, "You seen this fight last weekend?" Like, I didn't even watch it. I don't even know. I got to get more into my other sports, so like more of basketball and football. I get asked that question like, "Who's your favorite team?" I got to get back into watching that other stuff. Like, all I watch is just boxing. It's like, you know,
And that's good, bro. You're a student. Dude,
yeah,
I'm a big hoops fan too, but like if there's fights on, that's what I'm watching. And
sure.
I definitely when I did martial arts was more interested in UFC, but I feel like over time, like
Mhm.
when MMA when we were kids, MMA was like guys had specialties and they would fight each other. So it would be
All
like
right.
a Muay Thai fighter against a boxer, or it would
Mm.
be a wrestler against a jujitsu guy.
Or
Now,
back in the
now what it is it's like everybody's okay at seven different things, and it's just kind of an ugly fight.
right. What's that one kid? He's like a 17-year-old MMA fighter. He's undefeated. It's like 8-0 or something like that. He's like a prodigy or something. I see him pop up my YouTube channel every now and then.
That's how little I know, bro. I really after like Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre, I'm sort of that era
Right.
lost.
But we got well Anderson Silva was fighting Jake Paul, right?
Yeah. How do you what's your take on that whole thing?
He beat Julio Cesar Chavez. He
Yep.
actually he beat him fair, clean and square.
Yep.
So I think he might get Jake Paul a problem. I think he got some long arms. So, but really, Jake Paul, he's a boxer, man. He's been training dedicated for what 3 or 4 years now. So, it's gonna be a good one. I think Jake Paul gonna pull it off though.
Anderson's almost 50.
Right, exactly.
You know, and I think about the Chavez win, like, you know how Chavez is, bro. Like, sometimes, depending on where his head's at, he might just show up and not let his hands go.
Right, exactly.
Even though he's talented as fuck, he just might show up and just not throw punches.
For real, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's that thing, like, Chavez freaking being lazy. But no, I think Silva earned that. He earned that win.
For sure.
But it's gonna be a good fight. He's not really a boxer. Jake Paul still hasn't really fought a fighter, but it'd be a good test for him.
What is your, especially as a fighter, like you said, you're not real big on social media and the outside tactics to get attention. Like, what is your take on the emphasis of that? Where, guys like KSI or guys that just play video games on Twitch, or,
right,
do unboxing videos or whatever, like being able to make money on these huge cards.
Yeah, I think it's more like the business side. Like back in the day, it was just you want to fight, you fight the next day in the phone booth, like Hearns and Hagler. There wasn't no back and forth in the contract and my team, your team, not signing nothing. It's nowadays it's your business, more of a business, more of your followers. Who can you sell more tickets, basically sell tickets and fill up stadium. So and that's the part where I'm like, man, maybe I should build my media up and post more. But it's good for these guys. Take advantage of, they jump into another avenue and make a whole bunch of money. More props to them, but definitely have like some guys like me on the card that nobody knows about. Maybe have like some real boxers on the undercard or something. But
it's happening in more than just boxing, like perfect example, I'm from New York, right? So there's a lot of actors and people in theater and TV out here.
Right.
Back in the day, it was just, can you play the part? Are you a good actor? And now when you get to an audition, they're going to ask you what your social media following is. So that's a factor on top of your skill set.
That's crazy.
It's the same with boxing. It's the same with music. There's a lot of different performative, things that have this same problem.
Right. Yeah. And I think Jake Paul is actually kind of a good example of when he got Amanda Serrano paid well for her last fight.
Right. Use your platform, even if you're not on the card. Use your platform to promote something important in the sport.
So, and that's why I'm like, man, maybe I should be. But it's like some days I don't even go on Instagram and I don't post. Like I'll post leading up to my fight, and then after my fight, I won't really post nothing.
You gotta just stay in touch with it, but don't try to be something you're not also.
And that's not me, like to post every day and and post sparring. So it's not. I would let my hands talk and let people become fans of watching me fight more. Because like everybody that follows me, like I genuinely know some of these guys have 100,000 followers. They probably don't even know half the people. So I want to be able to
let's be real, bro. A lot of these guys have fake bot followers.
Exactly. So I wanted to have my following kind of naturally happen by interaction. Hey, what's your Instagram? Hey, follow me. Hey, Sean. Take my Instagram down. And I'm like, okay, and now we're locked in. So,
that's how I've always felt about this podcast. Is like I'm just gonna grow it organically.
Exactly.
Following it, it's because they really fuck with what I'm doing.
Exactly.
And I don't need to, do something goofy to get eyes on. Even if it takes a little longer, it's like it's gonna be worth it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel.
So to everybody watching, fucking follow Joe Sean. Follow me. We're not gonna be dickheads on the internet. We do what we do.
Yeah, you guys can always reach out. We're always reachable. Questions. I'm always down to answer questions, man. Advice. I know a lot of other boxers have contacted me for just advice and so I'm always down to just talk, man. So especially stuff like this too. I like to, get my name out even further, even like on the New York side. So now you know me on the New York side. So
who's the buddy? Who's your friend right there?
this Zeus. Come here. Come here.
Oh shit. He's a big fella.
Come here. This one protects the house when I'm gone. Come here. Come on, Zeus. Come on. Come on. Come.
He thinks he's little.
Yeah, exactly.
He thinks he's little.
He just turned 4.
His name is Zeus.
Yeah, he's a staffy American bully.
Well, Joshan, Zeus, is there anybody you boys want to shout out? Anybody anywhere before we wrap this one up?
I just want to shout out my team, Andreas Martinez, my head coach. He's making all these sacrifices with me. They say boxing is a lonely sport, but it's not really lonely when you got somebody that's dedicated just as much as you are. Sometimes I see a lot of fighters come in and out. He wants it more than they want it, and it's like sometimes it's for the best that you just kind of let them go because they don't want it. These guys that have the skill sets, but it's like, man, I know what you can do, man. And they don't. They just, I don't know. They don't have the lack of drive or whatever. But shout out Dre Martinez and then my other coach Johnny Martinez. Just being like the backbone of the gym, and because during the pandemic, the gym that we were at closed because the freaking social distancing and stuff. So he's a contractor, a construction contractor, and he had his shop kind of like in a garage kind of warehouse. He had all his supplies. We slowly cleaned it out. We only had one bag in there, and it was he had his boat, he had his slow cooker, he had his truck in there, and like all his paint supplies and his wood. We just slowly like cleaned it out, put a few bags up, got the ring up, and now it's like an official gym. It's crazy. It's crazy how like we saw the vision. It was all cluttered. It was like, we can put the bags here, we can put the ring here, we got to put the weights over there. When it was all cluttered, I'm gonna send you a picture after. You can I'm gonna send you a before and after. But and then a lot of guys left. Guys went back to that gym that closed down after the pandemic kind of went away. They went back, and we stayed at this gym. Like they tried to get us to come back over there. It was like I'd rather do our own thing over here. So it all worked out. And then my other coach, Joe Urias. He's more of kind of like my financial backing, and he started off with Uriah Faber, the MMA fighter, jiu-jitsu. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. So he just gives me like a lot of knowledge. Like I got knowledge coming from all 3 of my coaches. My coach, Dre Martinez, he was pro. He had one fight. He lost though. He's only one, but he just wanted to get that fight in just to say that, he fought and he knows. So he knows like what I go through with my weight cut and how I feel. So I appreciate that. And then my coach, Johnny Martinez, he fights in the master division. He's 2-0 with 2 knockouts. So he's still active. I think he should be fighting soon. And then my other coach, Joe Urias, him and his jiu-jitsu background, Muay Thai and everything. He's had a lot of amateur fights too. So then my girlfriend, Cassie Martinez, she's always supporting me, always pushing me, and my baby girl, always taking care of my baby girl whenever I need to go out of town. So I got a great team around me, man. I'm super appreciative. But shout out to those guys.
Beautiful thing, bro. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's been great having you on. We'll definitely do this again very soon.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me, man.
All right, my brother. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Take it easy.